The Sentinel is known to be reliable, fearless, disciplined, consistent, courageous, motivated, and skillful.
So do what you feel passionate about. Take chances.
All these qualities start from the mind. Your mind can be your worst enemy or your most powerful weapon.
The world becomes your library to help you become better at your craft.
Is this the dagger?
Learn how to achieve greatness and tap into the Sentinel mindset.
This episode is brought to you by The Arena. The Arena focuses on helping law enforcement and security professionals achieve their ultimate work experience, curriculum, and fitness goals. Visit thearenatoronto.com.
Yo, my man.
Look at this. Yeah, and Aaron, come closer to the mic. Come closer to the mic so we can hear you. There you go.
Like this.
Oh wow! Look at that voice, man. Look at that voice.
With the lip quiver and everything.
Okay, Byron, who do we have? We just talked about
we
him.
have the Aaron Mauldin in the house, man. Boom,
He has like 8 cameras, so which one?
This one's yours.
That's
Which
yours right
camera
there.
am I looking at? Right here. Boom.
All right,
You
good.
So
Paps,
there it is.
right there. You're
so
on there.
I grew up in this game. Aaron was ahead of me in this game. I came on the scene, started doing stuff, asking Aaron for advice on all the digital stuff, the marketing. He's helped me out a lot. Like in my early content, me and Aaron at the stadium doing advances, all this stuff, man. So
I mean, Aaron, why do you do what you do?
Tear it up.
It's the only thing I know. But we'll take a step back. So I think it was like 2012, 2013 when I first met Byron, right?
Yeah.
So through our friend Luke,
Yep.
they needed a travel in advance to do all the stadiums. So it was a big task, and that's when I initially met Byron.
Yeah.
Marine to another Marine,
Yes.
Right.
the big green weenie, we hit it off.
Makes it easy.
It was just, it was love at first sight. So
Yeah.
it was one of those things, but the difference between a lot of people in this industry that do the work, and I think the difference is between me and Byron is we're dramatically passionate
Driven,
about what we do. So
Yeah.
guys are like, this is just a job, I'm going here. But we're
Right.
like, Byron, like, hey man, like, how do we do this better? What is the
Right.
next thing? Like, and I think a big thing in this industry that a lot of new people need to tackle is like, it's risk versus service, but it's
Yeah.
problem solving. It's logistics.
100%.
It's all that stuff. And I'm going to go on this
Thinking
big
ahead.
ramp.
Yeah.
But I think that's a big thing with, Byron knows that when they would come to the stadium,
Yeah.
and I don't want to put, but they're like, who's there? Like Aaron. Oh,
Dude, we can chill out. We
Right.
know,
Chill-
we
like,
know it's going to be packaged up. Boom, here are your keys. Here's a bow on the thing. Dot,
Right,
dot,
right.
Boom.
But what was that package? What is the reality? I didn't sit there and write an 80-page PowerPoint
True.
on the advance. What did I do?
Yeah.
I sent in a text.
Yep.
Okay.
Like, everything you need is here,
Yeah.
right?
Right.
Long and drawn
It's the
out,
reality
but
of the
you have
game.
access to that information immediately.
Yep.
It's not overdrawn out.
Yeah.
But being part of Byron's initial detail really pushed me above and beyond, because I think we did 5 or 6 NFL stadiums.
Yeah.
Okay.
For our client or principal that
Yeah.
spoke. So it was very challenging on each part, but I think
And I mean, like just working with everyone on those, all the local agencies, our teams flying in, managing multiple guests, multiple
Right.
details, moving multiple guests. And we got it to where it's just like that's kind of what we do. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
And, and that was one of the really awesome things about working with Aaron.
Okay.
But like right now, we're at the Close Protection Conference.
Yes.
I have 2 questions for you. One, what are you speaking on? This dude's going to be on the stage hammering. What are you speaking on?
so. It's going to be a mic drop. My initial.
It is.
So I opened up my own shop. It's been
Yes.
around, but it's just known. It's called Katalyst Training Consulting.
Long time coming. The whole time I've been back to like, dude, when you're going to do your thing? Like, you need to just do your thing. You know what I mean? Like, so this is cool.
And with that being said, it's, I was dedicated to serving other companies, which I still am, but now I have my own shop. So it doesn't matter, like, it's not the Aaron shop. It doesn't matter who you are, what you need, what service, I'm here. But what I'm talking about, originally what I was going to talk about is sustainment training.
Yeah.
What are the foundational skills that need to be in a sustainment training? Because sustainment training is completely different than initial training, right? Like I'm coming in as an EP agent, and I'm going to go to whatever course you do, whatever you train. That's great. You have to have those fundamental skills, but what are those skills that are needed to maintain operational readiness to meet quality assurance, compliance, and liability for corporations and family offices? That was the big.
Yeah. And even After you've been on the detail for 4 years.
Yeah, yeah.
Are your guys still competent and capable? That's really, because that's where we see the degradation of these things, and relevant. And is the training relevant?
Yeah.
Okay.
So then I was going to touch on, choosing a training provider. I was going to talk about, once again, compliance and liability, how to maintain training during high op tempo for a program. And last, you ready for this? It's the KPIs for the QBRs.
Yeah.
What is that?
Yeah.
Right? Key performance indicators
Right.
for your program to show in QBRs, which is quarterly business reviews, which most corporations and family offices will have 4 times a year. Okay. So if I'm a detail lead and I'm taking money from my principal's pocket to invest in training, how do I quantify that on paper to show that what you're doing is adding an increase in their
Value.
ability? And that can be hard skills and soft skills. It's not about like, hey, a lot of details are not arms.
Right.
Okay, but if they are, what does that look like?
Right.
Medical, driving. Do they drive a company vehicle or blah, blah, blah. But when I got here on Wednesday, I got cornered by a couple of family offices and corporations with the frustration of what they're dealing with, and that is the security providers, the vendors. What does that look like? It's not at an agent level. It's at a mid-level management level and a company owner level. So I'm going to drop the bomb on, do you know how to write an RFP? Do you know how to write an SOW?
Yeah.
Do you understand those KPIs? How do we do this stuff?
Right.
And I think, this last couple months, my biggest business has been with security companies, not individuals. So the security company's going, hey, I live in the richest area code in the United States, and I have no residential contracts. I have no EP contracts. I'm a security guard company.
Yeah.
Okay. You come to me, let's talk about how do we onboard a client?
What's your process look like?
What is the process?
What questions are you asking? Like, how are you understanding their problem and articulating your solutions?
And thanks for giving me the warm-up, man, before I get on stage.
That's good.
Yeah, man, 100%.
Yeah, no, 100%.
But it's the back-end business of EP that no one talks about and a lot of people don't know.
I mean, KPIs and CP, do you ever hear those go together?
Yeah.
I mean, like, it should. It should be. It happens in the corporate.
It should be.
You got to quantify what you're doing, because this is what happens.
That's
And
what validates what you're doing. For the dollars. For the dollars.
the dollars cents. And one of my good buddies up north was just cut from a big detail, right? And I'm like, dude, how did that happen?
Yeah.
Because he ran it so well, there was never any issues and no problems. And they're like, why do we need him?
Why do we need him? Yeah, that happens a lot in this
And
industry.
he didn't have anything to quantify to justify.
Tangible,
Right.
So
important.
And honestly, Byron, this is a keynote too. Like, date myself, but like I came to this conference in 2006, right?
Wow.
And coming through, but
I was like in Iraq, right?
I was in the brig at that time.
Yeah, I know, right?
But as protectors, one thing that we should do, and this is the biggest keynote.
Come closer. We got to hear this.
Biggest keynote for all you new protectors: track your data.
Yeah.
How many flights? How many advances? How many movements?
Man.
You log that shit.
Yeah.
Like if I come, they go, I've been in the industry for 3 years.
Yeah.
If you come to me, hey, 2019, I did 2,295
hours
missions
travel
in 120 countries in 2019. Like
Wow.
I supported that. I have trackable data for that. So if you go, I'm in executive protection. Well, I've been in 120 countries in 1 year.
I mean, that's what I've done. You've listened to anything
drop.
I talk about my brand. It's
yeah.
boom, 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 60 countries, 1 year, did that on repeat. You have to sell and understand your metrics, man. Like,
yes,
leverage, eat every single piece of the buffalo, man.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, like, use it all.
No, and
honestly, real quick too, I just was telling my guys this. I was like, what if we could track? What if you guys took initiative to track all of the training hours that you do when you're not on this detail? What if you guys were like, okay, cool, like I'm spending this much time on the mats, this much time in the gym, I hit the range this much times, and then we could pull that together and then get to, I can add that to my quarterly reports, I can add that to my weekly updates.
Right.
Yeah, this team on average does average, a few hundred extra training hours that, that we just bring to the contract, bring to your guys' lives,
right,
that you're not paying for.
Right.
So thank you for the training allowance you gave us and those investments.
But you hit the nail on the head. So,
yeah.
Excuse me. There's one team that I take pride in, which is the Marine Corps Mafia. It's a Bay Area team.
Rah.
Kill. They're all 03s.
Secret handshakes.
And this team, due to the client and the principal, had 800 training hours in 1 year. They surpassed the residential team, and they're residential. They surpassed their travel team and the EP team in training. But this is another thing I want to talk about too, is the disconnect, because the EP guys are like, oh, we're over here. We're
the
we're
movement
too cool.
guys, the movement guys.
Like,
Yeah.
We're too cool for school. I'm like, well, where are you guys training? We're training over here. And I go, why aren't
you guys
doing this?
Yes.
Because if you do residential where you start at, and go, you're going to be the next pick to get maybe a driver, mobile. So
hopefully
there has to be continuity in that. So, it's, if you're in a family office corporation or you're a contract security company running for that, take this into consideration. When you choose your training provider, use the same one so we can have continuity and consistency.
Yes.
Which will equal liability. So if something happens on the EP detail and different from the residential, can that instructor, can that training provider stand in court? And being with this, and I'll talk about it real quick, I'll give you guys a mic drop because we're flowing.
Right.
Is this. You have an EP driver in Los Angeles driving down Sunset Boulevard. The guy opens the door, smashes the door off the car with the principal.
Oh my God.
In the vehicle.
Okay.
So the guy gets out, sees the principal, and he's like, payday.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh yeah.
Payday. Right. So as instructors, they'll reach out to us and go, hey, this happened. And I go, okay, send me the reports. I look at the reports.
Yeah.
And I'm just using this as a perspective, right? I'm not.
Little case study, little hypothetical.
I go, hey, he was doing 35 miles per hour. At 35 miles per hour, let's say he's doing 54 feet per second, right? From a cognitive standpoint, the reaction is 2.5 seconds for him to realize what the situation is, to process it, to hit the pedal, then it takes the car another 1 second. So in court, we can kind of justify, hey, it's physics. It was physically impossible for him to avoid that incident based on the dynamics of the car. He was doing the speed limit. How fast is that going? And they're like, so it's not like, hey, we're going to ram this company, we're going to ram this driver. It wasn't his fault. Like, it's physically impossible. It was literally physically impossible. So it was actually the person on the side of the road that didn't look out the rearview mirror to open the door that was looking for a payday. So as training providers, doesn't matter if it's medical, shooting, driving, combatives, or the soft skills. What is that? Risk assessments. Can they? You guys are like, hey, can you send me a template for SOPs? I'm like, yeah, dude, I do it $7,000. And they're like, what do you mean it's $7,000? Because we got to do a risk assessment first.
Exactly.
Based off the risk assessment, we do the SOPs.
Then we plug those in.
But one last thing, and I keep.
No, I love it, bro. This
is what I'll talk about is a lot of guys will go to schools. It doesn't matter what schools. I support everyone. Byron knows that, right? Is that you can go to an EP course and leave and not know shit about fucking security.
Okay.
Sorry for the F-bomb and the S-bomb.
No, you said it for me. You said them for me.
So how do we change that? So everyone who's done a course, hi ladies.
Hey.
Sorry. Done a course is like, oh, we got the concentric rings of security, and this is the baseline for security at a venue, at a hotel, at the campus.
Right.
No, man. And that the Secret Service, I have the Secret Service's concentric rings. Dude, it's like 9 PowerPoints.
Yeah.
My concentric rings is 158 because I take the concentric rings and I integrate that with site surveys.
100%.
And that's where they have a basic understanding of security. We can be protectors,
right?
But if you can't come in a building and go, hey, dude, tell me what's wrong.
We need,
And here's a nugget.
Yes.
Like, if you look at the camera, when I see a camera, I'm like, where's that link to? Is there someone in a room?
Yes.
If that person is in a room, is it live feed? Is it recorded?
Right.
Do they have a radio? Do I have contact with them?
Right.
How long is that stuff stored?
Yeah.
When I do an advanced or a site survey, so micro. So I'm passionate about the micro and the macro
100%.
in security.
That's
And he's
amazing.
been saying that.
Let me ask you one question, because I know you're on a roll right now. You've been gifted the power to make a change for one thing in the industry.
One thing in the
to
industry.
change it, because it's just not going. You have the authority to do that, and it's possible. What would you change?
Dude, that's good.
EP magic wand. Here it comes. It's
So
gonna be controversial. It's gonna be controversial.
Okay. So I'll say it right now, and this is what leads up to this conversation, is I've done 3 detail assessments, meaning that people paid me to shadow a detail for 20 days at a time, multi-cities.
Wow.
To figure out, like, they're like, hey, we have an
Find
issue.
the gaps.
Okay.
Well, give me those issues and I'll figure it out. And what it comes down to is the dramatic need of self-preservation
Yeah.
for FTEs, full-time employees, or management.
Yeah.
They a lot of times will have a leash on these guys and will not allow them to do it. So I probably lost 2 clients because I said, you're the problem.
Right.
Like, what do you mean? I go, no, you're the problem. Like,
Right.
these are what we have to change. But I'm like, first, send this to the CPA so I can get my invoice paid before I get the
before I give
proposal,
you
right?
your report.
I want to
Yeah.
get paid first.
Yeah.
But it's at a mid-level management. So there's that leadership capability. If you're I seen this thing on Instagram where it's just like, if you're so entitled about your empowerment, you're wrong. It's all about
100%.
troop welfare, Marine Corps, troop
100%
welfare, troop
troop
welfare.
welfare.
So take care of your
Empower
people,
your
they take care of
troops.
you, but no one's mentoring up. So the best advice I go, hey, if you're in a leadership position, like right now, dude, I'm old, I'm broke.
You're all right.
Dude, I left May 28th. I got home November 5th. Think about that.
Wow, man.
And I got 2 kids, man. I got a wife, 2 kids
Yeah,
at home,
yeah.
right? So my thing is like, who can replace me,
Yeah.
right? Who's my doppelganger? Who can I
Yes.
can? And I think a lot of leadership, they're like, oh, I'm here. I'm going to hold the reign because I hold the power. Because
Yeah.
a lot of guys will brag like, it's not a humble, like, I'm in the Fortune 5 space, not the Fortune 500,
Right.
the
Yeah.
Fortune 5.
Right.
Yeah.
So the expectations is like, one thing about Byron and that team when I came in, these guys are they're shooting every weekend. They're doing, I'm like, fuck, man, I got to step, like,
Right.
I'm fat, I'm lazy, I got to, like, step it up. And I'm like, these are Evelyn. But when I got this, I'm like, dude, this is a whole different level.
Yeah.
But the thing is, it's not about me. It's like, who am I going to bring in? If I get fucking hit by a bus tomorrow,
Right.
that's going to go, I got
I
to
can step out.
That's
Yeah.
right.
And so that's the one thing I would love to change is, and a lot of people, like, there's a lot of people from law enforcement, military, but I think that the Marine Corps harvested and instilled in us that leadership, that troop welfare.
Yeah.
Because if we're in a gunfight and I go down,
Yeah.
I'm gonna start Lance
Yeah.
Corporal, the shitbag Lance Corporal.
Right.
Like,
Yeah. I got to step in there and get to work.
Build the legacy. Yeah.
Yes. So that would be the one thing that I'd be able to change, and I think that's going to be a hard thing for a lot of people to swallow.
Yeah.
Because the people that are going to get upset about it
Self-preservation.
Yes.
are going to know it's them.
Man, spitting nuggets all day today, man. That's so good, man.
And he hasn't
So
hit the
good.
stage. We got him before he hit the stage.
Yeah,
He's-
man.
You know?
Pleasure, man. Honestly, thank you so much. I think what you're saying is like it's so needed. It's so
needed
needed,
to be
man.
said.
And a lot of people, like you said, they don't look at it. They look at things in a box.
Yeah.
There's so much more beyond it, man.
Yeah,
That's awesome.
It's the pillars of VP.
Yes.
You got your operational work.
Yes.
You got your management, and you got the back end shit that no one
Yeah.
talks about
That's
or speaks
right.
about because it's not sexy.
Yes.
Right.
But if you're a company,
it's how you run
it
the
is the most
company.
relevant thing to put food on the table. Sorry.
Yeah, man.
Have to solve those problems.
Have to.
And you have to make them into like solutions. And that's
Yeah.
where you have to stand out, actually. That's where the battle's fought before you even get the contract.
That's right. What's the name of your presentation today?
1:30.
Yeah, so
so
we got some
about going on about 25
Okay.
minutes. I'm passing
Okay.
out free shots for everyone because
know.
I know everyone's hurting from last night.
Yeah,
so
man.
we'll hair of the
Get
dog.
them back
and
to baseline.
yeah, you'll need it after my speech and my mic
Wicked,
drop.
man.
So-
Wicked.
It's always an honor, Aaron. I love you.
Awesome, brother. Thank you
Love
so
what
much.
you're
Thank you
doing.
for having me
master.
on,
All right,
and,
gonna do a little boom right now.
1, 2, 3.
Boom. We're live, man. What
Awesome.
a beautiful day it is today.
Dude, this has been amazing.
It's been amazing, but you know what's even more amazing? That we got Jim Wenzel in the house right now.
The Jim Wenzel in the house right now.
Do you know when I first met him? I first met you, I think it was 2 years ago in Miami for your symposium.
It had to have been. Yep.
And I just
100%.
thought you were such a genuine, nice guy at that time frame.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And we've maintained a relationship
Yeah.
over the
Yes.
years. And what's very exciting today, Byron, is that Jim has launched a brand new business
pretty much.
And I'm not gonna try and butcher it, okay?
Yo,
but it's
Constantine with these
Procypher.
Procypher, baby.
Procypher, right?
You
Where
got it.
are you based out of, Jim?
So I'm in Florida, but for our profiling business, we are based out of the UK.
Okay.
So we're in the United Kingdom. So I have partners in the United Kingdom, and we got some partners here in our team in the US. So we do a lot of different work here in country, and we also do a lot of work abroad. We have clients in Singapore, Australia, Germany, all pretty much all over the world, more or less, with the different things that we provide.
Okay, how did you come up with that name, first of all? And what is the meaning of it?
Oh, man. So that was like a collaborative effort, right? So everyone looks at deciphering, right? Because we're like deciphering body language and people and profiling and dissecting.
24/7.
But here we are, right? So with that part of it, we are on the humanistic defensive side of it, right? Being proactive. So rather than go with like decipher, decoding, we're procyphering, right? So we're going to be on it on the proactive side.
That's good.
When it comes
I like
to
that.
profiling and behaviors and corporate counterintelligence and helping people defend and keep their treasures and jewels intact is what we like to call it.
Love it.
That is really good. So what is exactly Procypher?
Yeah, man.
So we are a group of guys. We have guys with various backgrounds. So one of our team guys helped us develop the course for EP Access, the Defense Against Manipulation course. He's a former CIA caseworker. So what he did is he was a guy that went out there in different countries and continents, for the government, spotting, assessing, detecting people, and recruiting them to do particular tasks per se. So he's really good on the human behavior side. And then our other guys have worked in the UK with the equivalent to the FBI. We're doing white-collar investigations and assets and doing organized crime work. So we do a lot with people we have to understand to get information. So we've taken all of our skills and experience, my experience as a negotiator and investigator over years, and compiled it all together and said, okay, how can we make this work in our industries and various industries? So while we were pre-launch, just to get it started, we got contacted by a major pharmaceutical firm that said, hey, we're having an issue. We have our scientists, they're going to conferences like this, and they're being targeted for their IP information. And they don't know how to do it. And companies lose millions of dollars a year, right, to ransom tech, but the human side, everybody neglects. And the human side is a part of everything. So just in that, we landed a client and a few more big pharmaceuticals, and it just kind of has taken off. And now, in the EP industry, where I do a lot of EP close protection work, one thing I see is we got all these great schools, all this great programming, but no one is looking at who's got access to a client high net worth values principal information, right? The EP guys. Who knows the itinerary? Who's got the resident addresses? Who's the assistant team lead working with? Secretaries that have information. So if someone is looking to infiltrate somebody or maybe embarrass your client or just get into the information they have, they can infiltrate via an EP team. They can, valet. So we started looking at how we can incorporate this, which is why we partnered with Christian on it and said, okay, let's look at this and how we can help the guys that are operating, the companies that are running these operators. And then we also compile where we do behavior vetting. Some of the things we talked about yesterday at the forum, you guys were talking about, Byron, of like, hey, we're looking at a resume. This guy's got a great resume. He's got this background, that background, which may be great on paper, but personality-wise, we don't know. Well, we do the behavioral vetting part of that, right? So we'll come through, we'll get guys, and we'll do a whole behavior analysis and pattern analysis for that, put in there. So now you can take that resume and those behavior profiles, and now you can go, okay, is this guy a good fit for my detail, my company, my organization?
So you are able to get some insight into someone's personality based on their open source information.
Correct. So we can use open source information. I was just telling Constantine here earlier, right? Just last year, I had a friend of mine reach out to me, and he's like, hey, never been to IPSB. There's a couple speakers that I like. And I want to make the best way to connect. So one of the other things we do too is we teach an effective conversations course. And everything is, you've done through psychology, Maslow's needs, everything works off needs, safety, security. So meet people where they're at, what need they're at. So I was like, sure, let me look into that for you. So just based off something as simple as a LinkedIn profile, looking at, and mainly what I look at just for me, for some little things, as a tidbit for people who maybe listen and might be interested in some of the stuff we do. I look at people that write recommendations. So if I'm looking at your profile and you write a recommendation to somebody, most people project on the recommendations, the words they use, how they go. So that gives me key insights on your character, what's going to trigger you, what's going to get you interested. If you're like terms like motivated or you're big on honor, those are key things you can interject with. And I was able to just
understand that person's psychology.
Correct. Their lexicon of language, how you can adapt, how you communicate, how you can get their attention real quick. And now real quick, I have this couple of seconds to make an instant impact with you and gain rapport.
Yeah.
and now be like, hey, you'd be a great person to work with, right?
And that's big here. You get seconds.
That's it,
I mean,
right?
and in our world, you get seconds. That client asks you that question. There's that gap. You got like 3 seconds, and then shots are being. Then they're back to it.
Yeah. So just off one LinkedIn profile, off that, I wrote an 8-page profile for my guy.
Oh.
And while the gentleman was speaking, he was flipping through. he was going through the profile.
Yeah.
And as he's going through the profile speaking, he was like, "Huh." He's like, "Damn."
Yeah.
And I could get off your LinkedIn profile. I can get close to about an 88-89% accuracy of
These guys
of who
creep
you
me
are
out,
with
man.
with
These guys
behavior
creep me
stuff.
out.
You know what's
Question.
crazy? Yeah, go. No.
Okay.
Go.
Question though. No, the digital guys creep me out, bro. So this is why I was nice to all of everybody at school. The nerds, the jocks, the ugly chicks that blossom late. You know what I'm saying? Everybody. I was nice to everybody. You know what I'm saying?
Oh my gosh.
But real talk though, man. Then can we take this technology and can we flip it onto a POI or a BOLO if we can get some open source intelligence on there? So if someone's maybe DMing my client and being weird and we find them on LinkedIn, Facebook, whatever it is, can security companies hit you guys up and say, hey, dude, I got this stuff going on, and we can put this into our open source
Yeah, so the
workout.
biggest thing we do, too, is we teach you as you're getting those emails, we can teach you just by looking at it how to be able to dissect things within the communication on that.
Yeah.
We could pick up threats and different things, and if people are trying to manipulate, we can do those statement analysis and written analysis. That's part of what we did in law enforcement while we're doing things, because some of the tips and things we do, for one, is like if I'm working an investigation case back in the day, is I would get my police officer on scene, right, get a witness statement done.
Yeah.
Okay, he'd get that done. Well, they'd bring them to the police station, put them in an interview while they're waiting. I'm reading it.
Yeah.
Well, I would go in there. My first initial thing to him be like, hey, Joe, sorry, it takes a while to get paperwork for the field. Can you write me another witness statement real quick? That way I can get you out of here. And he's like, yeah, sure, no problem. So he'll write me another one. So now I got 2. So now we're looking at omissions and statements, things that have been changed, things have been augmented. Now off that, and then watching their nonverbals behavior, I've already now pretty much know where I need to go and what lane I need to take in order for them to open up, communicate. I know what they're missing. I know what they're lying about, and I can put pieces together a lot quicker.
So, Jim, who should reach out to you and why?
Yeah, man. Well, if they were listening, they better be listening.
Yeah.
Because there's a bunch of whys in there.
So the who is anything, right? The who is the new EP agent in the field that's out there that's, we a lot of this is all soft skills stuff too, right? So this is knowing if someone comes up to you, how can you pick up? How do you know if you've been spotted and someone's assessing you, right? Just by how they're trying to talk. We teach you how to defend against that. You might want your new EP guys out there to learn this because someone approaches them on the street, right? Because, again, just off LinkedIn, not to sub off from there, I was able to pull up for this pharmaceutical company. One of the reasons we got the contract was off of LinkedIn, pulled up their LinkedIn, pulled up a couple links, found the websites, found where they were speaking, knew where their home office was, pulled out a couple coffee shops in the gym, and I said, now go talk to him, sorry. And he's like, yeah, he goes to that coffee shop there every day. And he goes, you know how easy it is for me to pop up in that coffee shop, look, nice seeing you, your photos on LinkedIn, and just start a conversation with you. And it's just a random, normal thing.
So you were at, you were at the forum yesterday, obviously, or Brian's forum.
Yeah.
Mike.
Oh, yeah, McDonald.
He talked about he does not go on social media.
Doesn't do it.
I think I'm going to follow his footsteps right now.
Right?
You know what I mean?
I'm telling you, there's a lot of good things. Like even one of the vendors here next to you, Scope Now, I use them a lot of my stuff, man. Their photos, I can pull things off their information with some analytics that just add to some of the stuff we do. But everything from the guy in the field operating to the guys that own the security companies to the C-suites, the executives, really any industry, because we can help you with your pre-hire interviews, we can help you with exit interviews, we can help you with all that different stuff, anything related to human. We are on the whole thing. The human side is our side. And
good.
And our motto with it is your people are your passwords, right? People focus a lot of time, money, energy on cyber and all that stuff, but cyber has a language, people have a language, right?
Yeah.
But very few do they have both in a company or have them talking together.
Yeah.
So what we'll take is we'll develop these programs, get them together, get them to speak the same language, because when you can get those working together and understanding, force multiplier, man, you could do a lot.
Yeah.
But a lot of these companies, like they're sending people to conference, no security, no EP, no protection, no training, no nothing.
Yep.
And then I don't know why we lost millions and millions of dollars because our IP got stolen.
I love it.
That's it, man. What
Your
would be
people,
the
your passwords.
Procypher Las Vegas tip of the day as a free nugget for everyone listening? What would you suggest to get your cyber environment in order? What would
Or your
be
human behavior.
Or your human behavior. Yeah, what would you say?
Oh man, whew.
And this is free, guys. Free right now. It's only
Free.
one.
One nugget.
One nugget.
Yeah, my one nugget to tell everyone is pay attention. Right, the devil is in the details. Look at the people. Look at how they're acting. You'll find some people, like even something like this, I wouldn't be surprised the time you'd have someone try to infiltrate something like this, right? Yeah. And it's someone that's going to look like you or me that's sitting at a table. Maybe he's sleeping on a bench or sitting in the hotel next to you.
Yeah.
A lot of guys sit here, like to have a lot of drinks, loose lips, sink ships.
Yep.
You know, I'm sure if I walked around the bar enough here and seen a lot of these guys
You
here,
would
I could
learn
pick
a
up
lot.
I could pick up a lot of information that you
would.
probably don't want to give up, right?
That's good, man.
You know, and the first thing people do is they name drop certain things, certain clients. Now, the best thing to do is I would try to, although you're trying to gain business for yourself, you can still do it by being in the shadows.
100%.
Whoa, I love that.
Honor.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
I love it, man. Dude, this has been good. We got to do like an actual long podcast.
Let's do it.
And dig into the game, man.
Let's do it because we can dig into the psyche and everything of it. You know,
amazing.
No, it's too easy.
There's a lot of stuff we do, man, and it's just like I said, no one's doing it.
Yeah.
You know, everyone talks
It's a
soft
gap.
skills, but we go the different. There's a different layer. You
That's
know,
right.
it's there's more beyond it. And if you can understand it and understand just the basics and meet people where that, I mean, you can get a lot of stuff done. You
So
can learn
good.
a lot. There's a lot of information out there.
Heck yeah.
Jim, thank you so much, buddy.
Oh man,
You're
thanks
the
for
man,
having me,
bro.
man. Thanks for having me.
Appreciate you, bro.
Appreciate you, man.
Yeah,
Thanks,
Yes,
Sam.
brother. Thanks, man.
Appreciate
That's
it.
it. Jim, everybody from Procypher. Have a great day, guys.
Boom.
Boom.
This podcast is brought to you by Executive Protection Lifestyle Canada. Make sure to drop by next week and don't forget to subscribe.